Hello, everyone. Today, I'd like to speak about what intuition means. This is Clea, and this is Clea's World. And we talk here about everything that has to do with overcoming narcissistic abuse and abuse in general, fear, and how to heal ourselves so that nothing of this kind will ever happen to us again. So let's dive right in. What intuition means is that we listen to our gut feelings. Now, while we're being told in the programming, in the culture, that there is no such thing, our gut feelings are low feelings, are low hunches that we shouldn't be listening to, we should be thinking with our brains. In reality, we find that our intuitions are quite right most of the time. And that's because, even scientifically, now it's been shown that most of our brain really is in our gut. So there is a reason for calling these things, these hunches, gut feelings. The intuition has a huge value in our life. We find that it's when we deny our intuition and we do things that go against our hunches that we get ourselves in trouble. I just finished an interview with a wonderful lady. She's the author of the Hobbyist Guide to Dating, and I'll be posting her interview with me on my channel in the next few days. And we're talking about how to recognize narcissists while you're dating. And of course, there are some telltale signs. But what also came up from the interview is that we see these signs sometimes, we just don't want to see them. So the red flags are there for us to catch, but we sometimes talk ourselves out of seeing them because we're looking for something else. We're looking for this person to save us. We're looking for us to finally feel good. And we think a new relationship will make us feel good. Maybe because we come out of a recent breakup or something of that kind. I know that was my situation. When I left my ex-husband, I had to give up everything. I gave up, not only everything financial and comfortable, but I also gave up my identity in many ways. I thought I was a married woman. I was going to be a mother because I was 3 months pregnant, all those things. And all of a sudden I find that I feel like I lost everything. And now I'm on my own, taking care of myself. I found out I had cancer. Things were not pretty in my life. And so, of course, when this new man kind of fell in my lap, I latched onto him for dear life, thinking that he was going to save me. And that was the problem. Doesn't matter what he showed me, even though I saw it, I talked myself out of seeing it and I excused it away because I needed him more than he needed me. And that is the problem. You can tell. We are not stupid. We can tell who people are. It's just that we tell ourselves that we have to stay in the situation because we need this or that. Now, many of us, especially when it's a long-term relationship or a marriage, we tell ourselves, oh, I can't possibly divorce. This will look very bad. My friends will shun me. Please notice that I'm using all the excuses that went through my mind when I was dealing with this. So I'm not making light of them. These are very real reasons why we stay in relationships that are wrong for us. There is more, but just to give you an example, this is the usual litany of excuses that we make. At the same time, though, the question is, what are you giving up? We never stop to think of what we're giving up when we compromise like this, when we go along with something that is wrong for us. And the reason we don't do that is because we don't quantify what the other side of the equation looks like. Now, many times that is hard to do because we don't know what the other side of the equation is going to look like. We're now leaving something that is a known quantity for something that's completely unknown. What's going to happen to me? Maybe I don't have money to rent a place. Maybe I don't know how I'm going to take care of my children. Maybe my children will be traumatized by my decision to step away from a certain situation. And this can go on and on. And the truth is, this is all valid. At the same time, again, what does that mean for you? And is this something that is going to improve over time? Is your current situation ever going to improve? And I found that for me, at least, that was an untenable situation. I couldn't keep going like that, and it wasn't going to get any better. In fact, if anything, it was getting worse all the time. But also on the other end of things, what if I said, okay, I'm going to struggle financially for a little while, but then eventually I'm going to pick myself up and settle down and figure out my stuff, and it's going to be just fine. Remember that some things, while they may look scary, they are much more manageable when you have a plan that you might believe. So maybe the first step is to actually look at these solutions, at these alternatives. Maybe do find help to help you maybe plan your finances, or some very pragmatic things that might help you decide that you don't have to take what you're taking presently. And also, this is another note when it regards to children. I have a friend who told me a long time she was going to divorce. And I remember asking her, say, well, what's going to happen to your children? I mean, this is their dad. How are they going to take it? And she said, if mama ain't happy, no one's happy. And I took that to heart, because she did have a point there. The fact is, it's better to have two individual parents who are happy than to have two parents together in the same household who hate each other and they're miserable. One of the reasons for my leaving, one of the decisive factors in my leaving my ex-husband, was that I never wanted my daughter to think that what I had with my ex-husband was a real relationship. It wasn't. It was a sham. And I didn't want her to think that was okay. It was an acceptable way of treating people. And that, it was okay to recreate that in our life. And we do know this happens all the time. Children watch us, and then they take our lives as example. And sometimes they're strong enough to go completely in the opposite direction, but most of the time they will recreate in their lives what they've seen, because now it's been normalized for them. If it's normal for you to see your dad disrespect your mom, what's there to stop you from having a relationship from a man, for example, who disrespects you? You're going to think this is just what people do. And I can tell you firsthand, this is exactly what happened to me. And so I know this is a very real risk, which doesn't mean, this is not to say that you should do one thing or the other. This is, I don't know you personally, and I'm not trying to give you advice personally. I am saying that many times we believe certain things are for the best, but when we actually investigate why we believe that, it doesn't really stand up to scrutiny. So there is something to be said, again, for following your intuition. Go with it. These are hunches that are coming to you because we are spiritual beings and we get information from many different sources. And sometimes we can't quite quantify them initially with our minds, with our ego minds, but it doesn't mean these are not real. This is not real information that we should heed. So I hope you trust yourself enough to at least take a look at what you know inside, and that this helps you. And if you like this video and you find it value adding, please like, subscribe, and share. And definitely put a comment below and tell me about your situation. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.